Good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Here's me coming to you early as I had 4 hours of time to take off and I took it. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. And can somebody explain to me the freak weather we've got going on? So here what's happened. I was getting ready to start my day and I was sat down my office chair about 3 to 4 steps away from here. And then a wind gush gusted so hard down that little hallway that leads out of the apartment that it literally took a fully closed door and was able to open it like somebody was getting ready to come inside. I jumped in my skin, folks. Ah, nobody was harmed, but that was kind of excitement. I don't need that early in the morning. To the disclaimers, folks, if you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or with the troubled teen industry and the campaign against it, all the pertinent links are going to be right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In there, she interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read that article so much. They have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit. She did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused. You know the drill. Please read that article. Share it on all your social media. We also have included NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Trigger warning. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead, utilize those headphones, all right? Number 2, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. Use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. And if you saw my notification, looks like Tug has a new video. Go over to his channel, watch his stuff. He's awesome. All right, where we left off last week. Thus, in determining whether a device presents an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury, the FDA analyzes the risks and benefits of the device poses to the individuals, comparing those risks and benefits to the risks and benefits posed by alternative treatments being used in medical practice. Jesus Christ. I feel like I've already read this. Hold on, folks. Okay, no, we're where we're supposed to be. Sorry, folks. I probably read this sentence already. We're going to do it again. Actual proof of illness or injury is not required. FDA need only find that a device presents the requisite degree of risk on the basis of all available data and information. If ever there was a case of an overload of receipts, this one is it, folks. This is it. If ever you had a case where you had ER documents surveillance video footage, survivor testimonials, professionals from the fields of psychiatry, pharmacology, psychology, neurology, social workers, caseworkers, directors of some of the largest service providers in the United States. And they are coming to you with the receipts that have receipts that have receipts to tell you this thing is not what the JRC says it is. Nor is it the only way to handle self-injurious behaviors. I know this, JRC, because once again, not only am I autistic, I have also worked, say it with me now, in the field. All right? All right. Let's move on to the next paragraph, shall we? Whenever the FDA finds, on the basis of all available data and information, that the device presents substantial deception or an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury, and that such deception or risk cannot be or has not been corrected or eliminated by labeling or by a change in labeling, FDA may initiate proceeding to ban the device. You don't say. See, FDA, here's where the problem comes in. You absolutely have the power and authority to do exactly this. The problem is, somewhere along the way, somebody lost their balls and retracted naming the specific device that we have all gathered around here today for. Okay? The other skin shock devices, as alluded to by the Washington, D.C. Circuit Court, have absolutely nothing to do with all the data, the testimonials, the professionals, the video surveillance footage, the ER documents, you name it, that was being presented during those FDA hearings starting 2014 and ending in 2019. Okay? That data was gathered and presented to you wrapped in a pretty bow on only one. Sorry, I muted myself. Only one device. Just one. Where you shot yourself in the foot is by not naming the device. By not naming that device, that was the subjects of all of this inquiry and over a decade of work and advocacy. This was supposed to be about the GED device. Because you went backwards to try to cover your backsides, whether it's out of fear or somebody was lining somebody's pockets. I don't know. I'm sorry if that's not the case, FDA, but at this point, I am so jaded. I've been fighting this so long that literally nothing surprises me anymore. All right? You have that power to ban a device. But is bringing up into question the whole idea of tailoring and whether you have the right and authority to be able to do so, or whether that would be considered an interference with medicine. The only reason why that whole debate even became a thing in the first place and kind of took over the whole thing forgetting what all this work was about in the first place is because you didn't do one very simple thing. What's that old term in the Bible and other ancient books? You didn't gird up your loins and name the device in question. Okay? Because everything the FDA is talking about right here, we are able to prove and prove and prove all day long for the next 20,000 freaking years that the GED device does everything that they've been talking about. That the GED device 150 billion% can be proven to be, to quote them, what's that official wording? Unusual risk of harm. We'll just use that. It should really be that simple, folks. It really should. Let's finish out, shall we? If the FDA determines that risk can be corrected through labeling, FDA will notify the responsible person of the required labeling or change in labeling necessary to eliminate or correct such risk. We had something real simple that it could have fixed all this and left all those so-called interesting arguments out in the desert to die. That is to name the specific device that can be proven beyond the shadow of any doubt to infinitely cause way more harm than you could ever say it caused any good. The evidence against the GED device is overwhelming. To be point blank, the case against the JRC is the most damning case I have ever come across in my entire life. I'm pushing 40. Okay? This place has a long, dark, twisted, straight out of a horror film history. Problem is, they also have an extraordinary amount of power, influence, and money. So much so that they can threaten some of the people in the highest offices in the US to do a thing such as drop the GED device name from their final rule. The reason why I feel like it is that way is because I've seen how the JRC has operated, not just now from when I started to do these videos, but I have seen how they work and how they exploit, how they threaten people for literally, folks, literally. I began to become aware of the JRC in 2008. It's 15 years. So you have to forgive me if I feel like the dropping of the name of the device, that all the data, all the testimonies, all the ER documents and video surveillance footage is geared toward, just weirdly got dropped off of the final rule. Maybe because I am a nihilist. But if it was a simple mistake and a quick fix, why are we now officially in 2024 and this has not been resubmitted after being corrected? We're going to close out on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this afternoon. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'll see you in a few seconds. Sorry. OCD, folks. OCD.